Hello, this is Braydyn Lents, and today I am doing my informative speech on a seminar series that I have been doing recently, and I would love to share it with you. This is Bricks, Stones, Rocks, and Trees. How did a team which in 2011 dealt with a tragedy unlike any other come back in 2016 and they go back to their winning ways? How did a man go from a stockbroker in New York City to finding the strength to build a business that is worth now over $1 billion? How did a female soccer player become a goddess in the world of female soccer and change the way we see female athletes get paid? And how does a college basketball coach always keep an iron fist? The secret is that these titans, business workers, and leaders use a tool by building their lives using an ancient tool used by cavemen and farmers throughout the 16 and 1700s. That method is using bricks, stones, rocks, and trees to otherwise survive in a very grim world. Back in the day, there were never electronic devices. You had no necessity for clothes, and you had to find your way to hunt for food. But using bricks, stones, rocks, and trees, this is how we grow each other and grow ourselves. In terms of bricks, we use a challenge. We use these methods for a challenge. And we also, no matter what type of challenge you're facing, we use challenges in our day-to-day lives, no matter if it's dealing with someone with cancer, having a grandmother with Alzheimer's, or just living your life. This is very important to use and survive by using bricks, stones, rocks, and trees. Let's start with the bricks. My grandmother once told me that your love is a 10-pound brick. Your heart is the soil, and the knowledge you share becomes your new foundation for a new house. Each pound of brick becomes admirable by building your mother's house to holding the door for a girlfriend, taking them on a date, or even helping out your parent with a disability. Each pound of brick, no matter what kind of kindness you do, no matter what kind of love you show, build higher and higher and higher. I have used my grandmother's method since 2014 because building bricks is as itself a part of yourself. You're building you, basically. Teenagers, for example, build character by learning their eventual craft and by going to school and getting good grades. If they succeed in middle school and high school and don't get caught up in the drama, they're going to succeed well in college and in the workforce. But we build bricks starting at a very young age. We build it up through our teen years. A coach may build athletes to become more than just themselves, to give back to their community, play football or basketball or soccer when they're in college, and then eventually make it to the pros or eventually a big time championship event. Let's talk about the stones. Stones are used to spark fires by relating to others. When you have a passion, just go for it and stick to your flame because a spark could make you change and become inspirational. Two very good examples that we have seen over the past few years are Brian Banks and Marcus Parrish. Now, Marcus Parrish is a fictional character from the movie The Way Back. Brian Banks was once the most successful high school football player. He was getting offers from multiple different schools and chose to go to USC before an eventual crime of sexual assault would allow him to go to jail. He stayed in jail for a crime that he did not commit, and DNA samples prove that. So they made sure that Brian Banks would get out of prison, but he found the right support system, got back to the league after he got out of jail, and he is now bettering other people's lives, especially black and brown people, from not listening to police officers and knowing your gut. If you committed a crime, you did it. But if you did not commit a crime, why is it to go to prison? And in the movie The Way Back, Marcus Parrish was a very silent kid. He stayed to himself and stayed to his teammates and let them run the show. But Ben Affleck's character, Mr. Jack Cunningham in the movie, uses his strength and uses his stones to build and build and build a fire unlike any other. And Marcus goes from a very quiet kid to the most social on the team. Now let's go to rocks. Rocks build you. They add a pressure on your back, a load to carry and roll off of your back so you can continue living life. One very good example is from the Natural article, which Tim Denning writes 16 different methods that you can do to better your life. And not only that, but his main coincidence is being creative, sharing yourself and sharing each other. And trees grow you, they mature you, and they mature the others around you. Trees grow, maturing yourself and others to become a leader in your community and to yourself. Just remember the basic synopsis of this speech is: bricks are for building, stones are for sparking, rocks are for rolling, and trees are for growing. Because if we don't listen and we don't comprehend things, you always ask. Make sure you ask a lot of questions until your professor gets wore out. Be yourself and don't imitate others. So that is the synopsis of my speech. I hope you all enjoyed. And now keep on building.